Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our second episode of Those Lost on Mercs of Mischief. A little bit of a quick reintroduction of myself and the cast. My name is Kai. I will be your dungeon Bartholomew master for the evening, running this adventure into a homebrew 5e setting called Hole and the Hollow. With our lovely cast. We're just going to go around and quickly introduce the cast. We're going to go through more thorough introductions later, but to kick us off, actually, before we do the cast, because I did not do this last time, and that was my bad, we have a tip jar that as it grows, not only does the cast get benefits, you'll see that there is a token counter next to each of their names. Those tokens, they can either trade one in for a advantage roll, or they can accumulate 5 and they get a flashback. And what that flashback means is it's an automatic success, and it is on them to then tell us a story as to what they did to prepare for this moment that allows them to automatically succeed. And then the last thing is a little treat for me. The bottom, you'll see that there is an fill to unleash chaos bar. So for every tip that you give to Mercs for the tokens and any of that stuff tonight will raise the chaos meter, and if it gets to $100, something will happen. I have a little side table of interesting things. It could be really good for the cast. It could be a little hairy. But either way, the hope is that it tells a fun and interesting story that only you guys can make happen, because otherwise that stuff just sits there. There's plenty of other crazy stuff to happen in the story, but that one is for you. So now we're going to go around and introduce our lovely cast, starting with Arcady.
Hi, I'm Arcady. I play Pell, who's, just real happy to be here.
And next we're going to go over to Puck.
Hi, I'm Puck. I'm Gabriel Scoria, and I'm just really cool, and I could lift heavy things.
That he can. Next over to Jonathan.
Hi, I'm wait, hold on.
Oh no.
Hi, I'm Jonathan. I'm also the producer here. I push the buttons, and so when things get complicated on the screen, that's my fault. I'm playing Bevan, who is less happy to be here than he previously was. Let's see how the session goes.
That's very true. All right, we're going to bounce over to Saber.
Hey everybody, I play Cypher this time around, and I realized that I totally didn't even, when I was doing my description last time, talk about what my character looks like. So, I mean, he's a UNT, scaly and stuff. Yeah, I'm happy to play him. He's grumpy, I guess. We found out. I was surprised actually he didn't throw it to me right after Gabbro. I was going to get full in character right then and there.
And he does, in fact, have a skull on the top of his staff, which has been pointed out.
True story. And I have changed my character sheet to be Cypher Skull Staff, even though he is saying that he doesn't like it. The truth is he loves it. So.
Oh, and last but certainly not least, Jade.
Hey y'all, I'm Jade, and I'm playing Kaja, who is honestly just very amused about what's happening right now. That's their mental state at this point.
Good for them. All right. Well, without much further ado, so something that I do at my table, and I think it is fun, not only for me, there's very few places where I can't find a little bit of fun for me, but also for the cast to share amongst themselves what they think happened last session. So I'm going to turn it over to the table for a recap.
I'll start because I'm excited to be here. So we started with me, Pell, and my BFF forever, Bevan. We met this guy, Haber, who walked out of the hollow, and nobody ever does that, and he kind of needs some help getting to Tyrhaven, so we brought him to Tyrhaven.
And in Tyrhaven, you met some interesting people. You met Puck.
Oh. Okay.
You look like you were going to say
We
something.
were warned that we had to do this.
I mean,
Oh,
I
no.
can take over if you'd like.
No, look, I got it. I'm just like, okay. You know, I was going to walk 500 miles, and then I was going to walk 500 more, and I met a guy named Haver, and I don't know what that means. And I came to the town of Tyrhaven, and my good friend Red was there, and my good friend Skullstaff, and this very tall lady who apparently is a doctor of some kind, which is good and handy. And then we went to Skullstaff's scummy hotel, and Skullstaff was very grumpy. And I learned that everybody is unbalanced and somebody is unbalancing the world. And Skullstaff was grumpy about it. And then Bevan had to leave the room. I think he was sick or fell or something. And then Pell went after Bevan and they went downstairs. And then Haver got really sad for some reason, probably because nobody knows what his name means. And then we learned that we have to go talk to the king, and we went to go talk to the king.
I want to be clear when he says my very good friend that we met once, and yeah, like we spent a fair amount of time together, but we were just like hunting, ran into each other in the deep woods. It's not like we know each other. I was not clear on what his name was.
Oh my god!
Until he announced it just never came up, I guess. On our first
Red is my best friend.
But like, yeah, I was sick. I was sick at the thought of everybody's just like, oh yeah, let's just go into the Hollow. And I don't think half of these people have been in the Hollow, or at least not that they remember. And so they don't really know what it is that they're so enthusiastically talking about doing. And I'm really hoping that the monarchy shuts this down, since we're just going to walk in and talk to the kings here. Ugh.
And on that note, we are going to zoom in a little again to the Kingdom of Hull, the capital crown city of Tyrhaven, where the bustling city streets rise up this beautiful stone city and meet at the very top a gilded castle with large domed towers that peak with gilded flagpoles and large standards that wave above, brandishing the crest of Tyr, the patron of this kingdom, and a long associate with the kings and the royalty itself. The party has traversed up the road from a less than savory area in the city, leaving the cracked anvil behind, bringing their mysterious but hopefully informative messenger from out of time to meet Kings Clement and Anwar, the crowned kings of Hull. Kaja, having wielded a bit of personal names to get them through the gate, has revealed a little bit of who she might be to the rest of the party, at least enough that they realize that a name alone doesn't get someone through a door, but a special name, well, that can get us much further. The echoing halls are revealed behind two giant doors that are gilded with scrolls and a little bit of feathers wherever they can squeeze it in. The crown lineage of Hull are descendants directly from Tyr himself. The Asimar line, being traced back by generations and generations, has now come through King Clement. And Clement, unlike the previous leaders of the kingdom, is a peaceable man. He has no interest in war and has actually helped bring the kingdom a vast way back into the rest of the world, making strong alliances with the neighboring kingdoms and maybe letting off a little bit of the previously held firm beliefs that once governed Hull. You all are led by a guard through the grand doors and into the vast hall, where there are a few other beseechers of the crown that are waiting aside. But because Kaja had such authority that she spoke with, the guard takes you straight in before the two kings. One, Clement, a dark-skinned gentleman with almost velvet-looking skin. His complexion is so deep that when you look at it, you almost lose a part until you see the gold that brims out of every corner of his face, his very friendly golden eyes, his just glistening smile. He has a kindness to him. A tossed few short dreadlocks peek over a beautiful winged crown that sits on his head, and at his side sits his betrothed, well, now husband of 4 years, Anwar, a traveling musician who caught the king's attention, and the two fell madly in love, bringing the kingdom a bit of new royalty to admire and enjoy. The guard gives a deep bow and steps aside before raising his arm. I present to you Lady Kaja.
Hello, King Anwar, and yes, I bring to you a matter of great importance. It seems that there has been some news from the... And she kind of shifts for a moment, trying to figure out the best way to put this without causing a panic. To the far east of our kingdom, I think that it would be better if the person spoke for themselves. But if I am to be correct, I think that this is of urgent news. And she'll step sideways and kind of gesture towards Haver.
King Clement kind of gives you a small nod. We haven't had one of your family in the halls in quite a long time, so it's an honor to have you here. Please, what is this news you have? Haver, very sheepishly, the now known to be at least somewhat undead half-orc, steps forward, pulls his hood back, finally fully revealing in this beautifully lit room his face cloven at an angle by this lightning strike. My lord, my name is Haver. I come to you from Bolsenia. The Protectorate is in danger, but And as he says the words, specifically the Protectorate of Bolsenia, the whole room goes silent. And you see the kings exchange kind of a curious glance. Quiet up to this point, but now extremely intrigued, Anwar, a very tall, very lithe, fire-haired Genasi, steps forward and puts his hand on his husband's arm. Bolsenia is gone. What do you mean by this? And Haver, very scared now, kind of looks to all of you. I'm just a messenger. The Protectorate sent me. 200 years apparently have gone by. But go ahead.
Maybe I can fill in the blanks. Good kings and a fellow Genasi My fire-haired cousin. Pleasure to see you. I am Gabriel Scoria, and I speak for the Earth. And there is a grave unbalance taking place in my dear friend Haver's homeland. So, I imagine you'll want to gather the troops and, armies, jousters, that kind of thing. And, we'll head out immediately.
Haver kind of nods. What he says is true, and I did come from there. I was the lieutenant of the guard in Isa.
If I may interject, I think that it might be better with some physical evidence as well. If you could grab your insignia, I think that would be more helpful to.
Haver hands it directly to you.
Okay, thank you. And if I may approach, if that is okay, and she'll look at the other guards to approval.
The kings look to the guards and they nod, and then the guards motion for you, and then they step a little closer.
So I will approach and with the insignia in my hand, but also lean in a little bit and kind of whisper under my breath, at least to my knowledge, this person seems to 100% believe that this is what they were sent here for. I figure either this is a ruse or not. This is something very dire.
Clement takes the seal, turns it over in his hand. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay.
Your whole party is helping you, and you have the crest.
All right. Okay. She's not persuasive. Well, let's see. Oh man, I'm sorry. Stream. I did not fill up my character sheet, but it's a blank 15 plus something. I believe it's +1, but I'm gonna double check.
And for the record, this is the second roll for this because Haver rolled a 6.
Well then.
So 17. How does that work?
Looking over the seal, and you see Clement kind of show it to the light a little and let it catch all the imperfections that you saw before that aren't age per se, just wear. This is very persuasive. My grandmother had one of these. Tell me.
What was her name? Maybe Haver knows her.
My grandmother was Queen Alonia.
Haver, do you know a Queen Alonia?
That's actually who I was originally sent here to talk to. Oh. At any rate, and Anwar kind of steps forward. You see Clement's a little bit lost in the sigil. At any rate, what can we do to aid this beseeching? Well, I was sent for help. Well, then help you will have. All of you. I don't think that sending an army into the Hollow would do us much good, but do any of you have a skill with traveling that way?
Well.
Yeah, I'm side-eyeing Bevan. I'm like vibrating. I really want to raise my hand, but like I don't know if I should. But I'm like sitting on my hands because I imagine Bevan is like trying to psychically tell me to sit on my hands.
Kasha's looking kind of side-eyeing everybody in the is anyone
quiet? I'm making eye contact.
Is anyone gonna say something?
Good kings, As I have stated, I am Gabriel Scoria, and I am an avatar of the earth. And this open wound that you call the Hollow has been allowed to fester for too long.
Now, Lord Scoria. We have not let it fester. We've been trying to mitigate it, but there's only so much to be done when it's a giant, seeping, cursed hole.
Yes, but one must treat it from the edges. And I am uniquely qualified to do so, as an avatar of the earth itself. Surely you understand this. You are a dual... You are representative of your own element.
So, is this a yes? You
I
are
believe
capable.
my compatriots here are quite capable and very familiar with the Hollow and its capabilities.
Can I insight check to see if anyone of our party is reacting to what Gabra just
Absolutely.
said? Awesome. Okay.
And also, I'm going to allow...
What do I
Oh,
roll?
no. My computer just freaked out. Saber.
That's a net
I'm going to-
22.
Oh, yes! I'm going to allow you a roll. I'm going to call it an insight check, specifically on Clement. For reasons.
Reasons!
Didn't roll high. It's a 7.
That's all right. Part of my computer has frozen. That's all right.
Do I get to? Am I being insight checked here? Do I get a defensive roll?
Yes, Kaja is insight checking you, and if you would like to deceive her, you are welcome to.
Yeah, because I'm not really targeting Bevan, I'm just saying if anyone is like, oh.
Hell's
Yeah,
openly
no.
vibrating. You can tell she's like,
Yes,
Hell's
ready.
like super, super excited.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna
'Cause
aim for.
Everyone's entitled to not do
Ooh, that's a
their
pretty good
backstory.
deception.
a 21 deception. Did you beat 21?
No, I'm dirty 20, so.
Dirty 20. So
I don't
Bevan
pick up
is
anything
ambivalent.
besides server. Okay. So if most people being ambivalent, but Pell being very vibrant, and Gabriel also
I'll-
being very...
I'll say just for the
Okay.
sake of fairness, Bevan is averting eye contact from Nobility and from Pell.
Gotcha.
I'm not hiding anything. My eyes are rolling every time Gabriel speaks. I don't know why we allow him to speak, if I'm honest.
Oh,
And at the question I would have answered if he didn't start yapping, I would have stated something to the effect of having some skill, but more of a desire to be there. You could probably read all of that on my face with how well you know me, Kaja.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my.
If I may,
please, Miss Kaja.
thanks. Thank you, Gabriel. I mean, is anyone truly an expert of the Hollow? But which I didn't think so. But I think that every member that you see here today has something valuable to bring to the table, given our unique skills. As in, she'll go down the line of as a hunter. A hunter's assistant. She's not
I like wrinkle my nose at you and I'm like wrong.
I'm trying here. It's one with nature and a very skilled. She hesitates again. A very skilled warrior, if you will, and of course, you know me and my research as all matters of dark arcane magic. I think that with our skills and, of course, some of the Crown's assistance with supplies and perhaps an escort, we could at least check out the area and then report back and see if there is need for more specialized or more forces if needed. Would that be agreeable?
Roll another persuasion check. That's pretty thorough, but you are asking them for more than just, can we go? So I'm going to have you try and persuade them.
Woo! That one. Hey, does anyone want to lend me their coins?
Are you? Hold on. Is it? Am I to understand that Kaja is talking about requesting potentially
I mean-
other people to go in with us or after us?
At least someone to like help us get there, or like, and then also like money for like resources,
Stuff.
like potions, for example.
God. All right, Bevan steps forward. Fuck.
Okay, because that was like a 12 for context. So if
Your
you'd like to
Majesties,
assist.
forgive me for not speaking earlier. I'm concerned about the exploration being proposed here. I have been inside the hollow many times. Never for too long. But I can confirm that what our visitor seems to be relaying is true. Time is unreliable inside the hollow. If you send people in, there's no telling if or when they will come out. We talk as if no one ever returns from the hollow, but it's entirely possible that they simply haven't returned yet, and may not do so until long after we are all gone.
Clement finally hands the seal back to you, Kaja. There is much wisdom in what you are saying, and your forthrightness is much appreciated. To that end, not only will we make good on treaties that perhaps could have been followed a bit closer in the past, but more importantly, perhaps in there is a way to bring back those that are gone. Bevan, will you please roll me a persuasion check?
Ooh, it's not a great modifier. Hey, that's a good roll. How about an 18?
Fabulous. And not only would you be doing us a great favor, the kingdom tier will all thank you. There will be bounties to be had. But for now, I can start with my gratitude for bringing this emissary to us. And he calls a guard over. And their guards are in beautiful gilded helms with these bright gold crests on them and big spears. Quite ridiculous looking, honestly. And he comes up and stands next to the king, and the king just very quietly whispers something to him, and he runs off. I can offer you coin. That is not an issue. I will give you each 5,000 gold. Should you return with word of what's going on in Iza. Any further accomplishments, alliances, or the return of those that are no longer with us, we will revisit our gratitude. But for now, and the guard returns with a chest, I can offer you this. And the guard walks straight up to you, Gabbro, since you won't stop talking. And hands you a chest. It's about shoebox size chest.
All right, I'm gonna crack that open.
Great. Inside there is a pouch and it's like a chest that is actually made for this sort of situation. There is a pillow with a pouch, and then
Okay.
the other half of this has a section that has 3 little holes carved out, and in it, each hole contains a red potion.
Drinks for the road. Very kind. What's in the pouch?
You lift the pouch and you immediately hear the sound of coin.
All right. Money. Let's put that in. And I'll like, does anybody want to take this? I don't I can
I'll
just
take
hold
it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Here you go. Here you go, my good friend.
We are sharing this, by the way. Looks pointedly at Sarah.
Sure.
Good kings.
Sharing.
I do not mean to look your gift in the face. But I must ask you, with this corruption festering at your borders, have you no holy weapons that we can wield against it?
Roll me a persuasion check,
Okay.
Gabbro.
I can do a longer speech.
I'm sure you could.
All right, that's a
you.
22.
Yeah.
Gavro's persuasive as hell.
Apparently, Kaja, you were asking something. We'll get back to you in
Oh
a second.
no, I was just gonna see if I could help, but he doesn't need any help.
You really, honestly, don't enable this. The 2 kings exchange a look, and you see they have some sort of exchange between them without words. And King Anwar nods and produces from his side. Let me look up this thing. Where is your sheet, sir? You have things.
I do have things.
Not your sheet. the
Oh, okay.
king's.
Well, I mean,
Not always about you, Gabbro.
About to.
I'll take the king stuff. Bet he's got some really cool things.
He
I cast
draws from his for real though. I believe, I'm just gonna say that's what this is. I'm pretty sure that I put it in his inventory yesterday. He straightens up and produces from his side a mace.
Ooh.
It could easily be conceived as a scepter. It has a beautiful white handle, ornate illustrations scrawled inside of it. Take this. Bring the kindness that my forebears did not, and liberate Bolsenia with it. And he hands to you a very large mace.
Yes, this shall serve well. The earth thanks you for your assistance. Your husband is a good steward, and I trust that you serve the flame well, as I serve the earth. Thank you, my kings.
May I ask, before we start to wrap this up, do these kings, either of them, look or sound familiar to me?
So that goes back to an insight roll that I had you make.
And, okay, secondary. Do they recognize me at all?
You look at King Clement, and while there is not extremely familiar eyes looking back at you, there are familiar eyes. And you see in Clement someone that you used to know. A tugging feeling. He looks a lot like his father.
What about pictures or anything in the space?
There are few paintings, partly because Clement has been trying to remove the old paintings, but you look around and you rolled decently well on your insight. Oh no, that's your poor insight. Just kidding, that's a different roll. But you remember this space looking different the last time you saw it. Large, opulent paintings and statues of winged furies and wrathful gods. And now it seems somewhat sterile, quiet in comparison. Mostly just simple tapestries of pastoral scenes and paintings with a few kind eyes, but no one that looks familiar.
Your Majesties, if I could make one request, Brown. If I am to, and look back at the rest of the group, if we are to go into the Hollow, I would ask and encourage my fellow travelers to do the same, that any reward intended to be paid to me be paid to someone outside of the Hollow upon my entrance, on the chance that we are gone much longer than this kingdom stands. I would ask that my reward be paid upon our entrance to the city of Lorge.
We'll wait a few days. Won't be taken as a fool, but I don't see the problem with that.
Thank you.
The guard will take your information on the way out, and you can designate who you'd like your money sent to, or we can simply just hold it in our coffers. And if it gets too dire in there, please return. And Anwar specifically looks at Kaja. The kingdom would be at a loss without you all.
Understood.
I fall to one knee, and I won't get up unless someone takes me.
Well, so crusading then. Gonna go to the Hollow. Is everybody, you good? Everybody.
Kasha will look at the rest of the party and see if anyone wanted to say anything further. No.
I think
Clement
just-
looks...
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think just Bevan's just looking in Cypher's direction, just like doesn't know exactly what's going on, but knows what's going on.
Clement
He's in-
looks at Cypher and steps forward down off of the pedestal where the platform where the thrones are, steps closer.
I shift back, but look and avert and look again. My king, I don't know why, but I'm very glad I got to see you today.
I'm very grateful that you have come. And he points to your staff.
I hold
Very
it out to
unique
him.
staff that you carry. Tell me, what did you get it?
I'm very visibly uncomfortable at the amount of people around. I don't want to not say anything either. It's clear that I'm feeling secretive.
Kaja's gonna go over to the two of them and lay a comforting hand on Cypher's upper back.
Be like, come on, Haver, we gotta go liberate your town.
Thanks. Haver, like, awkwardly starts walking away.
Me, I'm trying to lead Haver off, and I'm like, Pell, Red, you coming? coming?
Yes, Cypher is actually one of my patients, looking at trying to make eye contact, being like, I'm going to tread lightly here, who is suffering a bit of unique amnesia, if you will. So excuse their slight discomfort. And
No excuse needed. I've heard of someone who carries this scepter. It is a good fortune that you bring it here.
Can you tell me more?
My father once said that he knew someone who carried something very similar.
Your father. King. What do I remember?
Go ahead and roll a history check with advantage.
$18.
Okay. You look to Clement again, and you suddenly see where his gold is more like freckles that kind of burst from different places on his face. You see a man who has gold markings that are like war paint on his face. Very similar features. The name Alfric comes to mind. And with it, a surge of memories painted with feeling a lot more alive.
I must have known King Alfric. Somehow.
He spoke very highly of you.
So you do know me?
I'm sorry, it's a family story.
If I make it back, will you sit with me and tell me what you know?
It would be my honor. And King Clement bows deeply and offers you his hand.
Pure shock, but instantly I take it.
And his extremely strong hand moves to help you rise.
If you will allow me, I will kiss it.
He will.
And then I'll fall toward Kaja if she'll take me.
Journey safely. I look forward to telling you that story.
Thank you.
And
Well.
Clement nods also to Kaja. Safely. And then he turns to
Try my
walk.
best.
And you all make your way. Go ahead.
Quick meta note: everybody received a coin from Rusty. Thank you, Rusty.
Thank you, Rusty.
Thank you, Rusty, for
Thank
the
you.
coins.
You all make your way out of the castle and back into the bustling city streets.
So, I think that went pretty well, considering everything.
They couldn't have gone better.
I mean, it could have. They could have given us more weapons or more gold or more potions. Like, it could have gone better, but I mean, I guess it's okay.
Would you like to hold my mace?
Yeah, and I try to pick it up and Can I do a strength check?
Please do a strength check.
Just straight up, like,
Straight up
dropped into
strength.
Pell's hands.
17.
That's pretty
Oh,
good.
hey, yeah, it's heavy, but you can pick it up, and it is beautiful.
I think this is the most expensive thing I've ever held in my life.
Really?
Evan, this could feed our entire town for like 5 years.
So perhaps we should be a little more grateful about what we did receive then.
Ah,
I mean, I guess.
well, in that case, Pell, should the Earth call me home, or once we complete our quest, you are welcome to have it.
Oh, thank you. I wouldn't know what to do with it, though. And like, I'm clearly like struggling with it.
Oh, you hit things with the heavy bit.
That's odd, isn't it? The king handed it to you and said, use kindness. Kindness is a funny word for a mace.
I think for the creatures we will be dispatching, what I do with this mace will be a kindness.
That's bleak. What if they can be saved?
Then we shall save them, and if not, we shall return them to the Earth.
I like hand this back to Gabbro and back away from him.
You know, I think that as lovely as Cypher's tavern room was, for the larger group that we now have, I think it'd be better to convene. Also, now that I know that you're not like murderous or, for lack of a better term, crazy, I believe that we could retire at my place if that is all right.
I might be crazy.
No, 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 you're a time traveler.
Okay.
At least you won't try to immediately murder me or any of the other caretakers of the estate, but I think that it might be necessary since now we will be traveling a long distance. It'll be best for us to all know each other and each other's skills further. Yes. Is that agreed upon?
Yes. Can I just thank you all? You didn't have to volunteer for that.
I feel like I did.
Yeah, of course we would.
It is my duty, child of the Earth. I can sense their pain from here.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, thank you, Kaja. Love to see your home.
Mr. Haver, if it puts your mind at ease at all, you're not crazy or anything else. Everything you've experienced is an accurate depiction of the reality you've experienced. not myth. It's hard to say if it even qualifies as magic. You've simply experienced something extremely unusual, and accepting that is the best way.
Okay.
Pel's like next to him, nodding furiously at this, happily.
Yeah. And he kind of looks at Bevan, who's very serious and somber, and then at Pel with a very confused look, and then over at Kaja, like, how am I supposed to feel about this? He's so bewildered, guys.
I'm just gonna give him a shrug.
Is he coming with us? Are you coming with us, Saber? Are you going back, or do you want to like stay here? I guess it's up to you if you want to go back or if you don't.
I thought I had to go home.
It would be helpful to have a guide. If you can remember your route.
I don't know how much of a guide I'm gonna be, but I can walk you through at least as much as I can. I'm a pretty decent tracker myself.
At least as best as you can retrace your steps.
Only what you are comfortable with. If you don't feel up to it, or if you are feeling ill in between, I wouldn't feel comfortable pushing you further.
I have to know what happened in my home.
Fair enough. Well, with this, I guess I shall direct you. It should be not that far, about, I'd say 10, 15 minutes a walk from here. So, follow me.
While we're walking, I'll walk closer to Bevan.
Oh, good. Because I want to do that as well. But first, everybody got another round of coins from Wild Wolf.
Thank you,
Thank you, Wild Wolf.
Okay.
3 coins.
Chickens.
Getting close to those flashbacks.
Bevan, may I ask you something?
Yeah, Bevan very quickly will drop back to the side with you.
You asked before about the hells opening up. Would you be open to talking to me more about that?
What little I know, everything in the Hollow is kind of the one thing I've avoided talking about for a very long time, but it seems reached a bit of an impasse on that. So, I'd be happy to discuss anything I know and anything you know about what awaits us inside.
Well, if it's a trade you're looking for, I'm afraid I won't be much help. I don't remember a lot. But anything I do remember, since we are, for lack of a better phrase, forced to work together right now, I'm happy to share.
It's not equivalent exchange. I'm after just as much transparency as we can manage to offer each other. You have the air about you of someone who has trouble catching up with what time it is. If you catch my meaning.
Oh, well, I don't think I'm experiencing the same thing as Havel. But it's not entirely different either. Does that make you uncomfortable?
No, if anything, it puts me a bit more at ease.
At ease, why?
When talk first came up of going into the Hollow. I was a bit concerned that I would be the only one with a real notion of what we were walking into.
Hmm. Well, that may still be the case, although I have inklings that others know more than I do. But what I do know is likely not current knowledge, if there's anything in there.
I think current is a nebulous word where we're going.
Fair. Well, my question still stands. What are you afraid of with regards to the Hells? I mean, obviously they're terrifying, but forgive me, it's an assumption.
It's less to my knowledge, I have nothing to fear from hell. But more curiosity. I'd always heard from others that there are twin portals, or possibly even twin sets of portals, for everyone to the Hells. There's one to the heavens.
I see.
And if that's true, well, there's a lot more questions to ask after that, I guess.
I'm really glad you decided to come on this journey.
Looks over towards Pell. Decided is also a nebulous word.
Fair enough.
As you all make your way through the city streets towards Kaja's home, Kaja, will you please tell everyone what the front of your house looks like?
The front of the house would look pretty much like a standard Tyrhaven noble estate would, but also like a little bit, it doesn't seem, it's clean, but doesn't seem like someone's really lived in it for a minute. And it has a sigil, crest, if you will, with a raven in the front. And there will be one attendant outside, just, dusting, sweeping, seeming to get up on their chores out front. A very plain looking elf woman, just an average elf woman. That Kaja would be like, hello. Hi.
Hello.
I'm so
Welcome
sorry. I'm just so sorry about it. That I just seem to have way more guests than usual.
Not
Sorry
to worry.
about Nelly.
We'll get it sorted. Right this way. And she goes and holds the door open for you.
Yeah. When you see the door open, you'll see just a very large main atrium that has various trophies from hunting, as well as a couple other knickknacks here and there. Tidy, but also still just not very well lived in. And to the right, you'll see a very large portrait of two figures that looked very similar to Kaja. The mother, almost a splitting image of Kaja, but with all black hair, no white in sight. And the man, a rather stern-looking individual, wielding a very just noble, not really for use, really, sword and shield, with the same Lugiyak crest on it, and a very tiny Kaja at below. So this is my family's home. There is about, I would say, enough rooms for you all if we wanted to stay here for the night. But I figured that we could gather in the library. That's where I spend most of my time. And there's plenty of seats there as well for us to discuss things further. Don't mind the attendants. They're all very nice, lovely individuals. They're just here to, keep things in order since I'm usually gone. But if you need anything, let me know first. I'm not the type of person to have all of these servants do everything for me. I mean, can do things on my own. And then she'll just kind of gesture to her various scars on her arms and chuckle away as she goes towards the library.
Bevan's looking around at the hunting trophies and stuff. Yeah, your family's pretty big into the dangerous game, huh?
Yes, that was mostly my father and my uncle Gerard. I think he may have hired you.
Know your uncle Gerard. Yeah, I didn't realize it until we got your name at the palace. He has a bit of a menagerie himself, doesn't he, of living creatures?
Yes. Yeah? He tends to treat them. I mean, I also adore animals myself, but it seems that they are more like my cousins than they are his pets. He treats them kinder than most people sometimes treat their own children, but to each their own. I find it very amusing.
Excellent. Here, there's an auroch. There, in there.
Yes, there is. I can't remember for the life of me what he named it.
That one, but it's being well sought after.
No, yes, I think that I think that they have a special grass mixture. I think that they even asked me if I had any advice about how to improve the nutritional value of the hay and grass and all sorts of things that the oryx eats.
You can be sure to let them know that it's actually okay if they have any of the hayfield that's infested with pests. So that's actually good to get there because a little bit of extra protein into their diet will help keep their coat thick. Speaking of which, is he providing with a dust pit to bathe in, because he knows that they cannot be bathed with water. It's actually very important that they keep the heavy layer of dirt in their hair. And yeah, Bevan goes into this.
He has all of sorts of that, but I will actually, I'll put that on my to-do list, and she'll put out a little notepad that has lots of scribbles on it, of remember to grab herbs, check on Cypher, leave at certain dates, write to cousin Uncle Gerard about the aurochs, mention Bevan. And then underlines that. Yes.
Aja, last time you saw this aurochs, it had bows in its long matted hair.
Yes, and then and also he's just very well groomed, but also with the dust, of course, they have to change the bows so frequently.
No, the brushing is great, but it's just you cannot. I would be happy to give written instructions if you can pass those on.
Are you bothering Kaja about cows? You can't just keep bothering people about cows.
But if they took on the responsibility of adopting the cow, I just want to make sure that they're taking their responsibility. It sounds like they are. It sounds like they're doing a great job. I just want to make sure
they are doing it.
That they're looking for.
I think that it would be lovely if you could write those notes, and I'll include it in my almost mandatory updates to Uncle Gerard. That would be great.
I mouthed to Kaja, I'm so sorry.
Because she's it's fine.
Not the first or last time this has happened.
As you all discuss the importance of cow care and make your way into the next room to have a very important conversation about what to do about entering the hollow, we are going to take our break. We're going to go and take care of our physical body needs, and you guys should do the same, and we'll see you back here pretty soon.
15 minutes.
15 minutes. See you then. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Of Those Lost on Mercs of Mischief, a 5e homebrew adventure into gothic horror. Before we get back into our story, we're going to go around and introduce ourselves and what we're doing and plug our fun stuff before we jump all the way in. So I'm going to go last. We're going to start with Arcady.
Hi, I'm Arcady. You've seen me around here a bunch because I've been here for like 2.5 years. You can keep seeing me here both on Wednesdays in this show and on Mondays in the show Last Light, which is DM'd by our wonderful Puck, where I play a significantly more trigger-happy character. And there was some stabbing last week, or ordering other people to stab on her behalf, which is kind of more her jam. But yeah, come hang out with us on Mondays at the same time to see us try to find the Northeast Passage in Fantasy Canada. It's pretty cool. Other than that, you can find me over on my Twitter, which is Arcady Koshka, and that's also my Facebook and my Instagram and my Tumblr. I'm all on the internet, but mostly Twitter.
All right. Puck.
Buck, I'm a dungeon master on all the things. I'm dungeon mastering on Monday, but today I'm playing a character, and that's what I do. And also, like, I make a line of miniatures. I'm gonna be, hey, if you're in Edmonton this weekend, come on down to the Edmonton Expo. I'm gonna be hanging around. I'm gonna go see some good friends at the Edmonton Expo. I'm probably going to sell some of my miniatures, hopefully, fingers crossed. And also, I'll probably be posting a lot of pictures on Twitter and, links in the doobly-doo, and all that stuff. Also, watch my other videos. I talk about weird stuff sometimes. All right, that's it for me.
Puck, I love that. Straight to the point. Jonathan.
That's me. Hi, I'm Jonathan. I'm the producer here. I'm Bevan. We gotta fix Puck's Gabbro command in the chat.
Whatever. I'm just Puck. Everybody knows me as Puck.
Everybody just knows him as that. Hey, I'm here. I'm also playing on Monday. I'm the guy that hits what the boss tells me to hit, man. Right? And got a sense of duty. And somebody's been put in charge. So we do that. Also, check out my link tree. Check out the other stuff I've been working on. I could, sit here and just rattle stuff off, but mostly check out my Etsy store if you want 3D printed can holder mugs. They're great for you can paint them up and make beautiful designs, and especially if you're a streamer, they debrand your beverages without having to pour it into a cup. So, very valuable to my fellow streamers.
I'd love to see it. Also, they are really beautiful. All right, next. No, I also don't drink out of cans very often, though.
Well, good news. There's also plastic cup adapters that I don't make those, but I do sell them. And they're the plastic cup the shape of a can, so you can drink.
We'll have to talk about that because I love your cup holders. Saber.
Hey, everybody. I am on the Instagram still, trying to figure out the Twitter thing. And I teach high school theater right now, which is a blast. I found out that we have a D&D club already, so I'm going to go show up at club day tomorrow and be like, guess what I do? So pretty excited about that. Otherwise, I play on Dirty 20 Gaming sometimes, and I've played in other shows with Puck as the DM, and I love it, and I don't want to change. I'm going to just be stuck doing this forever and ever and ever. Thanks for having me always.
Susan, thank you. Keep playing. We love to see it. Jade.
Hey all, I'm Jade, otherwise known as Jade Valkyrie on most of my social media, except for here because someone has that name. So I'm Jade Valkyrie with a 3 at the end, but I've been chatting and memeing and the chat, so you can just click on that. I do a lot of cosplay, I do a lot of content creation, and I also host and produce, mainly with Phenology PV, so a lot of Vox Machina, a lot of The Boys, all that kind of stuff. I just talk about those things with them. And you can find more of that shenanigans gearing up for some spooky season stuff and some TwitchCon stuff coming up in October. So Twitter is the best place to follow those shenanigans, and Instagram is where you can find me, try to meme, and all of that jazz.
Amazing. Before we get to me, I'm just going to shout out to this amazing channel, Mercs, for having me in my very first streamed game as a dungeon master. I'm having the time of my life running this game, and these guys run a really great show, great programming, and you guys definitely also check out Last Light with Puck. It's a cool world that he spent a lot of time building, and they just take care of the tech stuff really well, and they know their stuff. We love them here. And then I guess there's me. Hi, everyone. I'm Kai, keeper of every pronoun, and I am let's see here. This is my first Dungeon Master stream, but you can also find me as a player on Tuesdays. Not this coming Tuesday, because we're on hiatus next week. Oh, wait, no. I have that wrong. We are playing next week on my Vampire the Masquerade game, Manhattan by Midnight, on Going Critical RPG, where I play a disaster vampire. And then you can also catch me in some upcoming games and streams, including my upcoming podcast that I've been producing for over a year called The Lore Brewery, where we actually play in person in the same room. It's a wild time with some wild people, and it's going to be fun once we actually get that launched. But in the meantime, you can always check me out here on the wonderful Mercs of Mischief, DMing these delightful party members as we begin to dive into a world of darkness. Anyone have anything else before we go back?
Tips.
Oh,
yeah,
tips. Thank you. Yes. So we are, that chaos meter's going up. You guys are really killing it.
$20 away from a chaotic event.
Guys, chaos in my house.
In your house.
You invited us.
You get a cow, and you get a cow, and you get a cow.
Everyone gets a cow. Honestly, though, if you guys haven't looked up ARX, they're also the cutest D&D beasts. But yes, if you guys tip the show, those coins that you see next to everyone's, I think I'm pointing the right way.
Yeah.
Next to everyone's names. Those are each coin counts for an advantage roll, but if they accumulate 5, then they get to do a flashback, which is actually an automatic success on a roll, but the player has to narrate what they did in the past to have that automatic success in the situation that they are using it in. And then the last part is a treat for me, the DM, where that chaos meter, if we max it out to 100, what will happen is a little bit of chaos will happen. And I have a little fun chart that will drum up a bit of chaotic event, shall we say, either for good or bad, depending on the situation for the party. But it could be everything from a magical item being magically dropped into the narrative to a random interesting encounter, or perhaps a bit of information that might help them on their journey. So keep on bringing those tips in. We really, really appreciate it. And we super appreciate you guys being here with us and enjoying this story.
Yeah, so if you do make a tip, for every $5 you tip, you get to assign 1 coin. So just let us know in your tip message who those are going.
All right, and without further ado, we return to the Kingdom of Hull in the capital city of Tyrhaven, where the party has just gone to Kaja's family home, and where they are going to discuss what they are going to do next with their now promised to the king's journey into the Hollow.
Kaja, your home is way nicer than Cypher's. Cypher, did you notice how much nicer Kaja's home is than yours? It is so large and beautiful.
Well, technically, it's not Cypher's home. They're only like renting a room, so.
Oh.
Although,
What's your look like, Gabro?
I have a very nice rock.
That's the shortest sentence you've ever said.
Also, I don't think a rock is a home. No offense.
Oh, that's all right. The world is my home.
I mean, it can be a shelter if you... This headband's not working. It can be a shelter if you prop it up or, if it's on an overhang.
It is best when I sit on it. That is when
Why
I
are we
receive
still
the
talking
messages
about
better.
this?
What do you want to talk about instead?
Me? What do I
Yeah.
want to talk about?
Yeah,
Oh,
what
I
do
thought you
wanna
were going to
talk
say we are going to talk about you, and I was going to say that that's honestly a really nice breakthrough, and I'm really proud of you. But now I'm not
No.
really sure what to say.
Kaja, do you still have that insignia? Or did you give
Yeah.
it back to Haver?
That should give it back to Haber, yes, or to you. To Haber, or
I
you?
look to Haver.
I'll take it.
Yeah, sure. There you go. She'll just actually, she'll just yeet it over, just like.
He catches it like an infomercial for a second.
Oh God, the last remnant of my life.
By the end of this entire thing, I'm sure I will punch everyone at least once.
I'd like to see you try.
Hell has done nothing to you in her entire life. Excuse me.
Yet. Counting down the clock.
But all jokes aside, here we are, the Legak Library. It is, and then she kind of just gestures over, and it's just a nice library. It's a decently sized room, and it has like bookshelves up to the ceiling. A lot of the books are kind of like older. There's a section near the end of the library that has like a pretty pristine desk that actually looks used comparatively to everything else in this home in general, and like a section of books that seem very much more younger, newer books that clearly it's what Kaja actually has been using in all of this. But there's also a long table with like 4 chairs on either side for us to sit. So, feel free to grab any of these any time of our stay, but I don't think that we really need to be reading at this moment. So I guess you can just pop a seat here and start talking.
Is there
Do you have any
anything
books on recent history?
Yeah, I guess recent, okay, so anything in the last 200 years. And then she'll just put like, I guess, Tyrhaven history volumes like 3 to 5. And she'll grab those and have like little stack and be like, here you go. And then in case you need any more recent things, I also have some research notes about the last couple of years of studies in case you're wondering what has been going on.
This should suit me for now, and he's already cracked in and is voraciously turning through these books. He's a little distracted.
Do you suppose that any of your books here have uncommon knowledge?
I certainly doubt that. I've scoured this for any information and anything regarding dark magic, necromancy, the Hollow beforehand, Bosnia, anything that it seems my family tends to shy away, or I guess not shy away, but at least not purchase books on the subject. So anything of that nature would be things that I would already know, and that would be in this section of medical journals and just random injuries here or there that I completely transparent in my notes since I do not reveal patients' names. So feel free to look through those if you'd like. But unfortunately, my family, it was not quite the adventurous in the true sense. Not my branch of family, at least.
It sounds like anything relevant in here is already in there. But you've mentioned patience a few times. What exactly is the nature of your medical work?
Oh, sorry. This is I guess not a common question I get, but it's okay. It's I guess I should reintroduce myself. Yes, the name's Kaja Lagyek, the Dark Healer, Lionheart, Laskyak, Orphan, take your pick of names. But yes, I usually deal with, I would say, if mostly I can do any types of injuries, but I'm particularly called to deal with undead, necrotic injuries, things of that nature that usually require a little bit more oomph, if you will, for lack of a better term. But that's typically what I deal with. And what I've been called to upon, hence the really ominous, I didn't choose the name, they just chose it for me, and now it kind of stuck.
Right.
Hearing all this, like, wheels are turning in Pell's head, and I have a very sour look on my face. And to Bevan, I'll turn and chitter to him in the language that he can understand. My mom's wanted to call her a couple years ago.
I'll chitter back. Do you think they mentioned the Hollow in any of that?
I wouldn't let them call her. I'm over it by then.
Back to Kaja.
I hope that was all good.
Oh,
Pell still looks sour. Like, Pell usually will put on a happy face, and like she's a little sour at you.
I also would like to say that I only offer my services to those who particularly ask for it. I'm not the type to force upon any sort of medical know-how and give unwanted advice. So if that makes it any better, sorry. I don't know what I did, but you don't seem too pleased.
It's nothing you did. I'm sure you're used to the burden of having a reputation.
Yes.
It's not you. I don't like healers.
Okay, at least it's not personal. I can take that as it were, but I have run into some colleagues who are very much more holier than thou, if you will. So it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. So sorry for being a healer. And she'll just kind of like cringe because she's not used to having to deal with that.
On Bevan's train of thought, if there's no literature that we can come up with that has a collective of uncommon knowledge, perhaps we can take some time to share any uncommon knowledge we might have between us.
Yeah. Kaja, have you run into others that have returned from the Hollow?
I have dealt in some injuries that I believe are from the Hollow, as well as the encounter that gave me the really almost corny name of Lionheart. Dealt with that. Actually, I think it was not too hard. I wish it was for something much more pleasant, if you will. But the actually, I think that was quite close to Lurch, was it? It was in the forest, Besat Forest. We dealt, and I was with just a group of adventurers, mercenaries, if you will. And we dealt with some very odd creatures who seemed to have a hard time staying dead. We would kill them and they would come back up. We would kill them and they would come back up. And I was the last one standing for a very long time. And I almost was the last survivor, but luckily, due to some intervention, I was able to save a couple of my comrades, thus naming me Lionheart for just being lucky enough to survive. So I can certainly say that whatever we run into, a lot of what could happen, if you kill it, may not be the only time you kill it. And also, life force tends to be very... your life force seems to be touched by the hollow, it seems as well. There's some injuries and some illnesses that I've seen that I just cannot help because they're too complicated in nature, and they seem to be also stem from that type of magic. The hollow seems to have a very unique tinge, if you will, of magic compared to, your run-of-the-mill necromancy.
I think, and he kind of looks around the group, I think everyone comes out of there a little different. If we're doing this, Cypher's right. We need cards on the table. I don't know what you have in these books, but and he reaches into his bag and he pulls out a notebook. Here's what I have. And he puts it down. So, show of hands. Who's been inside the hollow? And let's all be honest. Okay. So, from what we know, and from what we've experienced, I guess let's make a map. Do you have a pre-war map of the Protector?
Actually, it's funny that you say that. I was going to ask DM.
Hello.
Because you sent me a thing and I've been perusing it. If Cypher were to ask Kaja for volumes 1 and 2 of the Hollow Bolsenia, could Cypher, he's not a cartographer, but like take those maps that are pre-created in those books and apply some of the knowledge that he has from the Hollow, like to draw right on the old maps or something?
If you guys, I'm going to say, Kaja, you definitely have access to an old map that shows mostly the border region. And then you have a bigger like political map that shows some stuff inland. But we're going to roll to see how much it shows because it's going to be a pretty old map.
Yeah, do you want to roll for that?
So everybody's up to 4 coins now.
Ooh.
And we are at the chaos meter. I get to break out my
Rusty.
sheet.
The chaos
Thank you,
meter has
Rusty.
been filled. So
Okay, I gotta get my dice out.
the odds be in our favor.
Let's see.
It'll be
You'll
a
know.
chaotic map.
It will, Rusty. It will definitely happen before the end of this session. Just putting that out there. Okay. All right. I'm excited. You guys are having this conversation. Kaja, you were looking for a map.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll me a history check or investigation, whichever one is higher.
Cool.
It's your library, so it's also at advantage.
Oh, bet. That would be great. Oh, gosh. Okay, so you said investigation or history.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that investigation and make that a 21.
Wonderful. You go through your library and you're like, okay, I swear I put all of my histories here. And you go through and the first book you pull out, it doesn't have a label on its spine. And you look and you hear a voice just for a moment. Gosh. Next to that book that you still have in your hand, you grab the book that you know has the map of Bolsenia in it, pre-war, but you can't manage to let go of that book that called your name.
Kaja will use the other hand to get the map book and give that to the party, but she'll grab the book that she can't let go of and sit at her desk for a little bit. Try and open
Wonderful.
that.
Go ahead and roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Of course. 3.
Oh my. Okay. You find yourself compelled as you look at this book and you start to read it. We'll come back to you. A little bit of chaos goes a long way, guys. Thank you for giving me a chaotic moment right now. I get to do one of my favorite things ever. Saber, you have a book. In it, it has 2 maps. One is a fairly detailed map of the trade routes around the border of Bolsenia and Hull. On it is marked with some familiar places and some names that, are long forgotten for most. And so you have that, and then there is another map that is larger. You rolled very well, Kaja. So it does have Isa, the city that Haver has been talking about, further inland. And you are able to do what you are asking. So I'm going to have you... It's not really... You're not like drawing it fresh. So I'm going to say you're using more of your history to look over the map. So go ahead and roll me a history check. We're going to see how well you do.
18.
Nice. Yeah, you begin to map out what you know of that region, the detailed region, because the larger map is like a big, weird blob shape that just has a few pinpoints marked on it of cities that used to exist. But
So
the border map...
Here's the Central River, and this was this place, and this connected to this, and this is just past Lorch, and this is, I think, Austinbrook, and I'm just trying to draw it out as best I can.
Kaja, you open this book. You've looked through most of the books in your library. You don't have a lot of call for history, I don't think. And this book has gathered a lot of dust. Most of your history section has. When you pulled the history of Tyr, you're like, I forgot I had these for a second. And this book, you open it and you begin to read. Within it, the first thing you read is... This is a book about Queen Alonia. It is a family history that you have come into the possession of for reasons. And it specifically details Queen Alonia's actions during the war. And as you read it, the voice comes back. And for reasons unknown to you in this moment, you know this to be her voice. Gotcha. The texts start by detailing fairly mundane activities. The queen was called by the protectorate. The high mages, the magistrates of the kingdom were beseeching her for news and for aid, and hoping that she would then rally the neighboring kingdoms. But Alonia did not have the strongest relationship with her neighboring allies, as she believed in the might of Tyr, in the power of Tyr. And you see in there, despite what the stories that you know, and you know quite a bit about this kingdom, Alonia did not want to act. She wanted Bolsenia to fade, to wither. And as you read these words, you see before you the pages look like they are beginning to crack and splinter. But it's fine. It's fine. You're welcome to react, to inquire, to keep reading.
These people, it's your duty as a queen to help those in need. Why?
They were unworthy. They were unworthy then, they are unworthy now.
And who would be worthy in that case?
Oh dear, you're so naive. Bevan.
I liked
Cypher
that
has
show. I want to watch that show some more.
Bevan, you have, I mean, unless Cypher has been hiding it, you've been able to see a little bit of what Cypher is up to. There's a book. Parchment is easily found. Kaja is preoccupied, but there is definitely parchment nearby.
Yeah, I think Bevan's not gonna try writing on the person's book or map or whatever. So he'll come in with some parchment and just kind of sit down with Cypher and just sort of, because he's got like small little fractured maps throughout his notebook. So he goes through and just does his best to create a connected thing as much as he knows, which probably just has from where the river enters the hollow, and then going up, and there's just kind of a blob at one point that's like RR question mark, and then further in and off to the side there's Gorad Zarya, and after that, like, there's just sort of, he starts translating in a bunch of little notes that are things like there's a line here and it's like half day's trek, and it's next to a much larger line that's like quarter day's trek, and it's just as best as he could, not being a cartographer really, but just from his sense of things. So marking spots that are especially dangerous, and places where he's run into a particularly weird iteration of a beast. And it's all, Cypher, if you look over, you can see it's all pretty close to the edge, everything he seems to know. There's very little past what you could get into and get back out of without taking a rest.
It's probably I imagine this being a very cute scene if it were animated, but the two of us sitting rather close, and are you really sure that's RR? Well, maybe that was a little, oh no, you're right, that is a half days or quarter. And yeah.
This is just from guessing. When I get in, how certain can we be of the time? Have you ever trekked through with any sort of reliable time reference?
I've been in and out, and time is kind of meaningless. I'm not fully certain. DM, how much further in do you think I've been than Bevan?
That you remember? Your clearest memory seems to terminate around the fields outside of Gorozaria.
So then I don't have much more than you, Bevan.
I once, many years ago, made the mistake of making camp inside the hollow for one night, as far as I knew. When I came back out, a week had passed.
Mm.
I don't know what the consistency is there, but what I have found is, as far as I can tell, when I simply go in and come back out without bedding down for the night, generally consistent. I arrive back out on about the same day.
Fascinating.
So for all I know, perhaps just my judgment of distance is very inaccurate on some of these, or maybe I just spaced out part of the walk. It's hard to say.
I would like to do an experiment. And Gavro grabs like a big long sheet of parchment paper and it's just like flapping around, making a lot of noise, and like runs
Randomly
over.
hits us with it.
Yeah, like flops over you guys' heads and everything, and lays it out over your guys' maps. Yeah, lays it out over your guys' maps. Could you mark on this paper where the three of you who have gone into the hollow experienced your strangeness?
There is one thing I can put on a map. So I very confidently walk over, because I know I have nothing to contribute to this conversation, despite having been in the hollow. I put a big X right on the border, and I write dancing lights, and I put a little star nearby it. That's where I got in.
Ah.
Can you explain what happened to you there?
Well, yeah, there were lights and they were really pretty, and I was really small, and I must have walked across the border, and I don't really remember much else. It's kind of hazy. I know I met Bevan, though. I got lost for a while, and then I wasn't, and I shared half my sandwich with him, and then we got out.
What kind of sandwich was it?
It's just cheese. My mom's made it for me.
Okay, it's probably not important then. Bevan, where did you and Pell come out of the hollow?
Where we came out? Where you went in. Same spot, if I remember, right? Near Lorch.
Yeah, we weren't that far away. It didn't take us too long to get back home, but
I see.
I don't know how long we were there for. It's mostly shapes, some colors, a little stench of rotten eggs, smoke.
Bevan, Cypher, could you mark where you experienced your most strange occurrences in the hollow? Please, humor
at
me.
The paper and I don't think I can. I don't know what I'd say is the strangest thing. Looking over at Pell. The first time I found myself in the hollow, I was very young. And I have no idea how long I was there or exactly where I went in at. Aside from that, I probably initially accessed it by the natural inflow of the river.
Aja, as this conversation continues, all around you, your party is planning and talking of the landscape of Volsenia, the way to enter the hollow, the ways that they have entered the hollow. This voice that has called to you, do you ask it anything more?
Being as though I'm speaking to someone who probably would know more, although I disagree with the ethics of the situation. What do you know of the hollow? of the disaster.
You want to know of the Hollow? Oh, sweet girl. The Hells rose, claimed the land. And as she says that, you see a very thin thread of what looks like almost ink in the air appear. And then another, and you all can see this very suddenly as smoke begins to rise out of this book. And Kaja, before you, the book itself begins to turn and change and shift as it rises from the table. And in your library before you is a specter made of the pages of this book, staring down at you. I'm gonna need you all to roll initiative.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Well,
That
Well
doesn't look
then.
nice.
that's some chaos for you.
Boy!
Oh, wait.
I rolled a 19, though.
Nice.
I rolled less than that.
I was just joking about Puck that we wouldn't have combat this session.
Don't tempt me. I love
Silly.
combat.
I rolled a
silly
9.
You're doing
I
so
too
good.
rolled a 9.
We are the same, you and I,
Got
but
a
your
19.
initiative is higher.
Oh my. Okay, I need to go back to the chat. There we go. Where all of these lovely rolls are. All right, so we have Pell. Who am I missing? Kaja, what'd you get?
A 19. I'm Zen.
19.
I'm going into roll 20, maybe.
And Pell, what is actually Kaja, what is your dexterity modifier?
0.
Okay. Kaja, right after Pell. Cypher. Alrighty. Pell. You sit at that table, and this conversation is not really for you. You didn't remember much. You haven't gone into the Hollow just for funsies or to see what's going on there.
I'm mostly
But,
preoccupied by the fact that Bevan has not told me that he's gone back into the Hollow.
Ooh,
We'll
we're in
circle
trouble
back.
now.
I will put that on the table at the moment, so that we remember to come back to it. But yes, this is news to me. So I'm a little grumpy and quiet.
Yeah, that's fair. And you are so frustrated with this, and you just look over to see, oh, maybe Kaja will talk some sense into these people. You look over your shoulder, and you see this creature of what is essentially book pages, but spectral book pages, all wrapping in and out of each other. You see it, and you see that Kaja is looking straight at it. What do you do?
That seems like bad news bears. I am gonna attack it because this
Wonderful.
is what I know what to do too. What is my movement?
And Kaja didn't say, "Hey, I have a weird book ghost in my library."
Right? I'm gonna move back from it a bit, and as I move back, I put my fingers up to my lips and I whistle. And as a bonus action, this dark cloud of smoke starts to rise up next to me. And as it takes shape, you can kind of see hunched over shoulders, and it keeps moving up into big pointed ears. And this spectral shadow Doberman appears next to me. I say, Algernon, go! And it's like as tall as she is. And this shadow dog takes off after the spectral thing as I send my Hound of Ill Omen after it.
Wonderful.
So I need a hound token. And I need to
I
know
have
what
one.
you can do. His name is Algernon. You've met Algernon. You know Algernon.
Of course I know Algernon. We go way back.
Adorable.
I'm going to give you control over Algernon in just a second.
Beautiful. And DM, you're the one ruling on creature stuff. So does Algernon do anything this turn, or is just him being summoned?
I'm going to say he gets a turn with yours, just to keep it simple. So he's going to go on your initiative, and he gets to do his thing right now, if he would like.
Yeah, he's going to attack. Oh my gosh, there's like 3 things I need to look at. He is going to do... I guess a regular bite attack, because he's like a dire wolf-ish thing.
Is he a large creature?
He's a medium monstrosity.
Great, love this.
I love him very dearly. What do I roll to hit on his sheet? Because I would like him to bite.
I mean, you're going to roll a d20.
I did find it. All right. 22 to bite.
Oh, yeah, that absolutely will hit.
It does 12 piercing damage.
Wonderful. Is it magical damage?
I don't think it is. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's just regular. I think it functions as a dire wolf with like 2 modifications, cool. and attack thing is not it.
Then we're going to say that you see the bite land. And as Algernon pulls away with paper, just regular book pages, in his mouth.
All right. And that was technically my bonus action to get him out. So as my action, I'm going to cast Ray of Sickness.
Was it a spell to summon him?
Oh, it was. Can I do a cantrip? Or it's not. It's sorcery points to summon him.
Oh, then you're good.
Yes, I can do that. So yeah, I'm going to cast Ray of Sickness, ranged spell attack.
Love it.
21.
Definitely hits.
It only does 2 poison damage, but it needs to make a Constitution saving throw, and it's a disadvantage because my hound is attacking it.
Cool. What kind of save is it again?
Constitution.
That's a 10.
Yeah. So it's poisoned now too. So it takes some damage and is also poisoned until the end of my next turn.
Great.
And I'm done. And
Beautiful.
I'm like ready to go. I'm like kicked over my chair and I'm like, this is what I do.
Your sickly friend is very powerful, Red.
Hell is so ready, and Kaja right behind her. The sound of the wolf draws you out of this entrancement that you have, but you still feel connected to this creature that you see.
Kaja almost instantly at the feeling of hostility instantly casts Shield of Faith on herself, so immediately you see this faint purplish grayish glow around her, and bonus AC. But she'll reach out also towards the creature and try to charge up some purplish blackish magic for a melee spell attack. We'll see.
Let's do it.
Hits. Oh shit! That's a 25 to hit.
Yes.
Holy schmoly. I hope this doesn't go terribly. That was inflict wounds, by the way. So she's
Love
gonna
that.
try and cast inflict wounds and see how much she gets out of that, and that is a 20 of necrotic damage.
I do have a question though. Inflict wounds is also a leveled spell. Is Shield of Faith a leveled spell?
Let's see.
I believe it is.
Yeah, the Shield of Faith was just at first level.
Yeah, unfortunately it has to be a cantrip to cast 2 spells in 1 round.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Then she doesn't do that.
It's all good. I will let you retcon either the Shield of Faith or the inflict wounds.
Let's retcon the Shield of Faith. I think that I don't want to waste that amazing roll.
First combat together, guys. We're doing great. Yes, absolutely. You reach out and you inflict wounds on this being of fluttering pages and smoke. And as you reach out to touch it, your hand comes away with not ash, even though the pages are blackened, but ink all over your hand. All right, go ahead and roll damage.
It was 20.
Dang. Yeah, you pull your hand away and you see the ink also follow your hand like a seeping wound.
Gross.
Yeah, I'm not gonna move because I think that would probably be an attack of opportunity. So
You're not wrong. Cypher.
I am going to get within my spellcasting range as well, which it looks like I already am. I'm just going to throw my hand out and call out flee to it. I'm casting command.
And it's a wisdom save?
DC 15, yes.
Oh yeah, there it is. That is only an 8.
He's super scared.
So it now has to flee on its turn.
And I'll end my turn there.
Wonderful. Next, this spectral being of pages looks to you, Kaja. And even though it doesn't really have eyes, it just has these sunken hollows behind it. This avatar of Elonia looks to you. The devils rose because they were called. And then next to you, you hear Cypher ordering this being to flee, and its head jerks in this feral motion, and it is going to flee. It is compelled movement, unfortunately, so it does not incur an attack of opportunity, but it is going to use its whole movement to run away.
Ugh, it's so far.
I know. I'm sorry, Gabbro. But you see it run towards the windows that are beautifully framed in lovely curtains in Kaja's lovely home. And as it gets close to the windows, the sunlight makes it rile and shake, and it actually takes a step to the side as it runs from all of you, avoiding the light. That's its turn. Bevan.
Huh. Interesting. So, Bevan, since it's my first turn of the combat, can go ahead and add 10 feet to his movement. So he is going to move forward, and as he does, will make a longbow attack. He just, like, as soon as shit starts going down, he sees Algernon coming out, he's just like, oh, and it's just a swift motion, bow is off the back, arrow out and knocked, and he fires off. Oof. Well, an 8
Oh,
hit.
rough.
That's
Unfortunately,
okay.
no. The first shot, you unfortunately break one of Kaja's windows.
Yep, get the sunlight in. But on my first turn, I can take a second attack, but that's only a 9.
At the second arrow, you're really good at groupings, which is, the sweet spot for archers. The second arrow also goes out the window.
I'm going to use one of my coins. I'm going to burn a coin to advantage that.
Go for it, please. There we go.
20, dirty 20.
Hey, dirty 20 absolutely hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. All right. Now, the fun thing about that particular hit is I get an additional 1d8 added to that.
And it's more piercing damage?
It just says dealing an extra 1d8 damage of the weapon's damage type. Yes.
Yeah.
So that'll be an 8. So it's 18 damage.
Wonderful.
Of piercing damage. If that does
Like
anything.
Algernon's bite, you see the arrows strike, and they definitely hit something. But this is a being made of book pages and ash. And the arrows strike and begin to pass through these swirling pages that you could hear all the way across the room. They struck, but they did not seem to impede the creature too much.
Bevan kind of
and
cocks his
finally-
head to one side and puts the bow back on his back.
And then bottom of our initiative order, we have Gabbro.
All right. Gabbro bursts into a swirling cloud of earth and teleports 30 feet using his Misty Step as a bonus action. And
Nice.
then Gabbro runs 30 feet, carefully running past his good friend Red. And then Gabbro uses the dash action to move further and runs up to this creature. Thought you could get away from me, didn't you? The earth will have its judgment. And that's it. I've used everything.
You did so good. So proud of you, honestly. Wonderful. Then very top of the order, we have Pell again.
My hound is going to move because that is what he does. Once I've ordered my hound, Algernon, to attack, he is laser focused on and will not let this go. So
Correct.
he's going to chase after it. And I believe he has 50 feet of movement, and that will get him.
Yeah, there's no planet where that doesn't cross a library.
Yeah. Well, and he can move through stuff. So, like, in a straight line, bookshelves, anything in the way, the smoke just
runs through
dips
stuff.
right around it and just attacks, and he's going to do a bite attack. And because an ally is within 5 feet, he has advantage on the bite attack.
Yes, pack tactic. Let's go.
Yes. So, first one is a 16, and second one is 19.
They both hit.
It's going to do 10 piercing damage.
Total?
Yes. Also, it needs to make a strength saving throw or else be knocked prone.
Wonderful. I will tell you right now, just Algernon bites, and in the same way that the first bite landed, you see him pull away, and there is not enough physical form here for a creature to be knocked prone. It is immune to being prone.
I'm like, see this? I'm going to huff at it because I don't know what will hurt it then. But I have something for that. And I make a little ball in my hand and I let it go, and it's flickering all these different colors as it goes as I cast Chaos Bolt at it. And we're going to see
Chaos Bolt.
What kind of damage it does, and it'll do. Roll that. That's a crit hit.
You do so much damage. In fact,
whatever numbers I just put up on the screen, you know what to do with it.
Hell, in a shocking ball of lightning, I need you to kill it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so as this is streaking across the library, it's flickering from green poison and dark shadows and fire flames, and as it crackles, it settles into lightning and it sinks deep into the middle of it, and you just hear this thunder from above, and it sparks with electricity and a giant thunderbolt, and electricity just crackles out through all the pages, and the little pages burn to a little crisp and gently float through the air, and Algernon comes trotting back to me because he instinctively knows there's nothing left to kill.
The good boy comes padding back.
Boy. I give him a little ear scritch, and there's just enough time for an ear scritch before he disappears.
Kaja, as the pages explode, the book before you chars in black, like someone spilled ink just in the middle, but you see that it is actually cracking ash as the book itself decays before you like it's been burnt. With your decent wisdom, you understand that you were touched briefly by a curse. A curse not attached to the book itself, but the knowledge bound within that's been given to you.
That she told, or is there more knowledge?
The knowledge that she told you that Bolsenia called the devils is cursed knowledge.
would Kasha know what is if there is like a penalty for telling other people cursed knowledge?
Yeah, let's see here. I want to give you something worthy of your intellect. Yes. You can roll me insight or religion.
Okay. Woo! Insight it is 25.
Beautiful. What you saw was just a specter attached to the knowledge. It was called here by you interacting with this book. And from what you can gather, it would have come to anyone, but you in particular were part of what it was looking for. It wanted to be spread. And with that really good roll, this was an Olip, a creature of living cursed knowledge, bound to this book and the story within it of Queen Alonia, who, as a servant of Tyr, did not want to serve a kingdom that called the devils to it, that raised the hells for its own greedy ends. Now, the knowledge itself, if given in pieces, may or may not be a curse, but as a whole image, the understanding that Bolsenia was a part of its own undoing. That's a whole different story. The story has always been that there are wars, and that the wars to that end came to Bolsenia, and that they were fighting against something that had risen from the hells. Alonia, and now you know that it wasn't just some incursion. Someone from Bolsenia invited them in.
Kasha will turn to the rest of the party. She's close to Gabbro. Because she never got to move. So she'll just turn over, because everyone's like, either or. What do you all know about devils?
I glance at Bevan.
And I don't mean it like that.
Honestly, not much. Anything I may have had to gather from family stories is lost to me.
Well, to be completely transparent, this entity came out of the book that was here, as you may or may not have seen, and mentioned devils and the Hollow. So that is something that we probably need to look out for. There was other knowledge, but I don't think that it would be useful at this time.
What do you mean it won't be useful? How can knowledge not be useful?
When knowledge sprouts more and more cursed beings to us.
So it's okay that we destroyed it. I'm like wiping shadow ash off my hands.
I mean, it wasn't even labeled the book, so who's to say how it got into my family's library, but I personally have no attachment to the book that tried to kill me, so shoot away.
Okay, good.
Gabriel's poking at this pile of paper on the ground with his sword, just like, I.
Gabbro, this is the meanest book you've ever seen.
Do you have any other books with ghosts in them in the library?
You know what, I thought I knew this library, but it turns out the library is trying to kill me, so let's just double check, and she'll cast detect magic.
Wonderful. You
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
you cast detect magic and nothing that shouldn't be glowing anymore. As you look around your library, everything that should be lightly enchanted, a little more than lightly enchanted, seems to be fine. And as you're looking around, you hear a knock at the door.
Yes, do come in.
Miss, is everything all right?
Yes, it seems that there seems to be some magic gone awry, you know. Nothing to worry about.
It is fine. We killed the ghost book.
Kasha looks at Gabro with just exhausted.
We'll go get the we're gonna, and you see they're looking, the servant that's come to help looks at the window and is like, oh no, and stammering and kind of trying to catch themselves. I'll go get a broom.
Yeah, I think that would be lovely. And I guess we can talk about how to call glass expert. I don't know what they're called, but you know, the people that fix the glass.
A glass fitter.
We know a glass fitter. We'll get it taken care of.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry Bevan broke your window.
Honestly, I don't really. It's fine, really. I really upkeep this because of cousins and sorts. I don't really feel much attachment, so
Yeah.
it's quite all right.
Should probably have somebody check the other unlabeled books for curses.
Yeah, I did not detect any magic that shouldn't be here, but I probably will now label the library off limits, being so. I think many of the people that work around here are well equipped to deal with.
Yeah.
She'll just gesture towards the pile.
As you were
Everything.
all talking, and this is partly my fault, I forgot to roll for Haver, who was definitely in the room. But Haver looks up from the books, just kind of bewildered.
Y'all hear something.
Did you see a ghost in your book?
Honestly, I, for one, whatever it is that you read in that book would just as soon not be included in that. Yeah, some knowledge is cursed. And I don't need a curse.
I'm gonna walk over to Bevan while I'm like wiping myself up from this battle, and I'm gonna say in Infernal because it's sharp and it's personal at him. See, I don't always need your help, and apparently it sounds like you don't need my help either.
Kaja just
I walk away.
tries to act like she definitely did not understand, but she definitely understood what was happening.
As Pell
Beautiful, love
walks,
it.
as Pell walks away, Gab was like, "Congratulations on your kill."
Well, thanks. Thank you.
If you
I'll
head
approach Kaja.
downstairs, then you could ask for some water or anything. In the kitchen, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm a little tired after that. It's sometimes takes out a lot. Snack would be good. So yeah, I'm gonna wander to the kitchen then. Because I'm useless on the mapping, so orange slices sound great to me.
And Pell, you find the kitchen easily. It is a fairly well-stocked kitchen, given that Kaja doesn't really, you better.
Mm-hmm.
Food, good, but also like, this is not really a home, it's a house.
And I'm sure, like, because this is the capital city, she probably has much more exotic, fancier food than we can get up in Lorch. So I'm, like, taking it to heart that she said I could eat whatever I want, and I'm going to eat, like, all her fancy food while I'm down
There is
all the stuff
chicken.
that, like, I've never seen oranges, and so I'm going to eat, like, 30 of them. I'm going to eat until I'm sick.
There's meats that are not fish. There is fruit fresh from the fields. That you didn't have to wait to come all the way a whole day's journey towards Lorch. The place is fairly well stocked, and the people that are working in the kitchen currently are extremely amenable to whatever you want.
awesome. I'm very nice to them, and I'm definitely getting them to do like some walking around for me. But yeah, I'm
Wonderful.
gonna sit down here and eat because I think
Yeah, they're happy to
I
serve.
think literally what I just did was the most helpful thing I could do right now.
Yeah. And also you kind of gather that they are eager to wait on someone given that this is their job. And for the most part, otherwise they'd be sitting around chopping the same like 2 heads of lettuce.
Love it. I'm making new friends. Because they might be better friends. I don't know. Bevan.
Anyways, back in the library, the smoke and ash settle, and the first gust of air that travels over the remains of that book just blows it away like the remains of incense. And it's just the spine left.
Do you know what's happened to you?
I believe that the knowledge in what I read was cursed in itself. So the idea, the facts, the history that was revealed to me in itself was cursed. So out of that curse came this being. Someone wants to, or wanted to, keep the knowledge a secret, but...
Are you yourself cursed?
Yes, I think so, but that's not because of the book.
Care to elaborate on
I want to ask you more. Yes, I want to ask you more.
We're all sharing today.
I suppose. But what happens in here must be between us. Since we are to trust each other with their lives, everything must be revealed.
I don't want to know the cursed stuff. I don't want to know the cursed stuff.
Not the cursed
Just
stuff,
want
but
mundane
but-
knowledge.
I mean, I don't really know how it would affect our journey, but I mean, Cypher already knows. And, yeah. And with that, she'll reveal her wings, which are Aasimar wings, but they do not have any feathers on them. They are very skeletal in nature. Kaja is a fallen Aasimar.
I was going to say, she missed this.
So that's what you meant.
And as quick as they're out, the quicker that they're back in. Yes, the Ligyeks are actually quite closer to the lineage of the main royal bloodline, being Aasimar, from my mother's side. But something that I'd rather not really get into, it's not necessary to our trip at all, has caused me to be less than shiny and all celestial and golden than the rest of the Aasimar nobility. So, but it does frighten. I can make it for combat needs as well, but I strongly prefer them not to use them unless it's needed. And also, if any of the nobility were to find out, I would lose all of my station and status. And these people depend on me for a job. I would be okay without not having a title, but these people survive off of the Ligyek money. So it is imperative that this stays between us.
Your
They
secret
don't
is
know.
safe with us, or certainly with me. And fear not, Dr. Kaja. I find that those who soar too high above the earth forget where they come from.
Indeed.
So I am glad that you are more grounded.
I'm so curious, actually, Gabro, what your thoughts are with regards to your relationship to the Earth and this knowledge that you've just acquired.
I am the chosen avatar of the Earth.
On that lovely, simple note, is there anything else anyone would like to accomplish before you guys bed down for the evening?
I did want to do one thing with my experiment, if I may.
Yeah, you're welcome to.
I want to get up to that parchment where I hope my dear friends have marked their experiences in the hollow.
Yes.
And I want to reach out to the earth. I want to close my eyes, grab a piece of charcoal, and wave my hand over this map with this piece of parchment laid over top of it. I want to reach out to the earth. And I just ask it, where are your wounds?
Will you roll me a d20?
I certainly will. Roll it, damn it. Okay. That's a 16.
You reach out to the earth, seeking the kin that you know are there. And though they long to answer, unfortunately it is quiet for now.
I will ask again as I get closer.
At some point, I will need to go find Pell.
Yeah, Pel's in the kitchen. Pel, you can be in the kitchen as long as you want.
I'm going to be in the kitchen until I go to bed unless someone comes to hang out.
Great. Pel said she was going for a snack, so it's not hard to find her.
I'm going to do something slightly out of character, but it's there, so I'm going to honor it. I'm going to approach Gabro as he's doing this. Do you ask that question out loud?
Yes.
In that case, I will place my hand on you and cast guidance.
Gabro, I'm going to have you roll a d4.
Okie dokie.
Because though this is, for everyone watching at home, this is my homebrew about asking for the divine's aid.
That's a big old one.
Unfortunately, the earth still has no answer for you, but that is its way. Sometimes it is fast, and most times it comes in its own measure.
Put my hand up on Cypher's hand. I wasted it.
Bevan, you find the kitchen. It's not hard. Pel is not subtle. It is a beautifully furnished kitchen. There are hanging herbs. There's a big fire with a pot over it. Right now it's just boiling water, but you know, for your meal this evening, there will be more food to come. But yeah, not hard. Easy to find.
Anything good? Going up for dinner?
Oh, hey! You want to hang out now?
A lot has gone on information-wise in the last couple hours. So, if you don't mind, can I ask a little more specifically what you're upset about?
Why didn't you tell me you've been back to the Hollow since we got in?
Because I knew you'd probably want to go, or at least want to ask.
How many times have you been? 15 years. It's been 15 years since we met. How many times? Over a decade have you gone?
About a dozen over the last 4 or 5 years.
You never wanted me to come with you? Thought that I might like some answers?
I didn't want to go in. Even I don't want to go back there.
Why'd you even go in the first place then? Bevan, that's so stupid. If you don't want to go in, you just don't go in, but you went in a dozen times?
It's not like it's... It's a compulsion. Something started pulling. We've never talked about when we met. And that's because some knowledge can hurt you. As we just saw.
I did fine. I did fine with it. And you know what hurts?
You did fine.
You know what would have hurt? If you just disappeared one day and you never came back. Did you ever think about that?
Like you said, you're fine without me.
So stupid. You could have at least told me. You could have asked me to stay behind. I would have said yes. If you wanted to go by yourself, I always would have said yes.
There's a lot in there. And most of it's real bad. And some of it follows you out. And as far as I know, the last time you went in there, I'm the bad thing that followed you out. So I don't want that to happen again. I don't want anything else getting attached to you in a way that's going to make things worse. And I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess I made that decision for you, but that's the problem with cursed knowledge. You can't decide whether or not you want to know it, because once you know it, it's too late.
I just didn't think you'd lie to me.
You never asked. You've always just kind of waited for me to say what I want to say, and I really appreciate that.
I didn't think to ask. You never seemed to want to go into the hollow. Like you said, you never wanted to go into the hollow. How was I supposed to know to ask when you're telling me one thing? Why? What are you looking for?
I don't know. Or at least I don't really know. And what little idea I have, I don't think I should share.
I'm going to stand up and get ready to leave. And, well, you know, from now on, you know you can ask for help. And I'm going to touch his shoulder. And I'm going to cast Gift of Alacrity in case anything else attacks us in this place. And I might as well make it a twinning spell and touch myself on the shoulder too. And give us both Gift of Alacrity so that you have an additional D8 to initiative if anything attacks.
I'm assuming that you've done this before.
Yes. Yeah, he knows what I'm doing. He knows that I'm giving him a buff if anything is going to come after us. And I'm going to turn and go to bed because I feel like I've hit a wall. And I'm hurt, but still here.
I'll turn
Kaja.
to the staff. What do you got to drink around here?
The kitchen staff is ready. They have wine. They're like, we know a guy who's got some ale. We just have to go down the street, but we've got this.
They were looking very busy for the last 5 minutes, just scrubbing in the corner.
They were part of the wall, and now that is, it's now like, we can help you. Yeah, come right over here.
Andrew really likes wine, so there's a lot of wine.
There's a lot of wine. It's the good stuff. Kaja, it is your home. I'm assuming that you've instructed your staff to direct people to beds, things like that.
Yep.
As soon as I'm alone, I'm counting that coin.
Wonderful. In that pouch, there is 2,500 gold. And you'll notice that of the vials, 2 of them are smaller than one of them. You have 2 greater potions of healing and 1 superior potion of healing.
For
context, Gabro kept those.
How much is a lot of money in this world? Like, is that a lot or?
500 gold will buy you a pretty good magical weapon, given that you don't have one. How's that? The weapon that you saw today, worth more than that. Gabro, do you spend time with your new friend over this evening? Your new mace. You're muted, my darling.
Of course, I definitely want to sort that out.
Wonderful. You get to have and attune to a Mace of Disruption. The holy scepter of the Kingdom of Hull. The divinely given scepter of the ruler, descended from Tyr. And
I am often told I am very disruptive. I think that's perfect for me.
Does this scepter denote, like, the true ruler of the kingdom? Is Gabbro, like, does he have an opportunity to coup right now?
No.
Okay.
No. Clement did not suddenly give away his crown.
Call me King Gabbro.
And with that, as you guys all bed down for the evening, we will catch up next week and see if there's any other final thoughts you guys have before you all depart tomorrow on a mission into the Hollow. And that's where we're going to end our session tonight. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I have been Kai, your Dungeon Bartholomew master.
Thank you for tipping us, too, and giving us chaos.
Thank you for the chaos meter. Tonight, this was so fun. Olives are one of my favorite enemies. They give both knowledge and combat, 2 things that I love very much as a dungeon master. And we'll go around and say our good nights. Arcady.
Oh, hi, I'm Arcady. I played Pell. I'm useless except for making magical explosions.
You just like 1v1 this all up. Don't
yes,
even start.
Yes, I did. This is what I do.
My poor Jonathan / Bevan sitting in his feelings.
I'm Jonathan, played by Bevan, and Bevan, who's really just feeling a little put upon. Yeah, I did mix that up, didn't I? Bevan, who's feeling a little. Look, this is literally the only secret he's ever kept from Pell, and thank you so much for dropping that chaos, because that really gave him an excuse to, like, point to reasoning for keeping this secret, like cursed knowledge. That was very convenient for Bevan's character right there. Yeah, you can find me at the stuff I do.
All the good stuff. Puck, my darling.
Hi, I'm Puck, and I think that Bevan's gonna need a big hug from a stony friend.
Oh my god.
I'm Puck. You see me on the things. Watch my videos, watch the show on Mondays, and come to Edmonton Expo if you want to hang out. That's me. Thanks for the stuff. Thanks for them coins.
Yeah. Saber, getting into that delicious Cypher backstory tonight.
Oh yeah, it was a great time. I'm Saber. I play Cypher, the grump who cast guidance tonight. Yeah, character development. Keep doing what you're doing, chat, because it's really motivating us. So thank you.
Jade.
Hey all, I'm Jade. I played Kaja. Also, thank you for that because Kaja probably wouldn't have told people that she was a fallen Asimara until like episode 6. So I'm glad that we got that in episode 2.
Chaos.
Chaos, and also thank you for breaking her home. Yay!
No problem.
Shout out to 2 Minute Tabletop for the beautiful map that thank you for making it easily accessible for me to just have a bunch of maps on hand for chaos reasons.
I did message, I was like, is it okay if we go to my place instead of this random town? And I was like, yeah! So that works well.
I have a library of maps.
Heck yeah.
Courtesy of 2 Minute Tabletop, including the wolf and some of the other stuff I've used tonight. So if it was not generated by our extremely talented artist for this series, it was either designed by me or 2 Minute Tabletop. Shout out to them. And I have been Kai, and you guys have been incredible. Thank you for the chaos meter. I'm so excited that we got to do that. And other than that, we bid you all adieu for the evening, and I'll see you all next week for hopefully our first foray into the Hollow.
Yeah.
It's D&D. It's D&D. It's D&D. It's D&D. We all agreed to play some D&D. That means role playing, fighting and slaying, solving puzzles. Maybe it's just me, but you guys won't.
No, we won't.
You guys just don't.
No, we don't.
Follow a single plotline through and through. I'm not complaining, but instead of gaming, you find the weirdest other things to do. There was adventure, but you guys wouldn't venture. Instead, you said the mountains look